What's up, fam? This is Dhati Lewis. I'm excited to be able to share with you today as Pursue scholars and as individuals who are trying to maintain the faith on college campuses all across the country. Man, I mean, this is a topic that's real sensitive to me because as one who came to know the Lord on college, I know the significance of those years of 18 to 22. It helps shape. It's a time where we're going through and we're determining, we're authenticating our faith. It's no longer our parents' faith. It's no longer our parents' religion, but it's one that is that we're taking ownership of it. Let me just share with you my story. On December 15th of 2007, a group of us, it's about 25 of us, moved from Denton, Texas to Atlanta, Georgia to plant a church. Actually, we made a decision to move from Denton to Atlanta to plant a church. Out of those 25 students, all of them were either saved in college or had a significant life change in college. I just remember growing up, my dad played pro football, so I wasn't raised in the church. And so in that process, what I did, I had a lot of issues and didn't really know kind of what it meant, to be on fire for the Lord or even to be a Christian. But I came to know the Lord in college because football wasn't fulfilling the very thing that I desired. I tried to get it through I tried to get that fulfillment in so many different things, and I was really searching after what the scriptures say in Ecclesiastes chapter 3, where it says, God has placed eternity in every man's heart. So what's interesting about it is that I came to know the Lord through a search because when football was failing me, I knew that life, there had to be more than life than sports. So came to know the Lord, ended up getting the football scholarship after that, got to the University of North Texas. And at the University of North Texas, I'll never forget the day, January 10th of 1996. And it was during that time I met a group of people, made a group of friends that was actually trying to live for the Lord. These were Christians that was really loving it. And so what was interesting was they would talk about stories like David and Goliath, Samson and Delilah. And I was like, who are these cats? I didn't have no clue because, again, I wasn't raised in the church. But it was in that I would just go back and I was like, man, all Christians know their word. And so I would go back and try to read and study. And I felt like I was catching up. So it was like I was in spiritual two-a-days. Because just trying to catch up and learn. But what I did was it was something that community brought that has spurred me on to wanting to know God more. And I really see, looking in retrospect now, that God was really developing a hunger for his word. You fast forward, as I started going to different Bible studies and different things that was trying to learn my word, what I found out was even though my friends loved the Lord, I started learning new terms that they didn't know about. It was things like evangelism and discipleship. And it was in that I started saying, man, just like any young believer that was on fire, was like, man, I need to invite my friends to these. And as I was inviting my friends, they would come but not stay. And I realized, I was like, man, what would it look like for me to create something that was both culturally relevant but doctrinally sound? What would it look like for me to create an environment where my friends can grow? And it was interesting that during those times that I recognized the importance of the season of life that I was in. And the importance of that season of life really framed for me something that I see in my life and in many others' lives that we're trying to get back to. That experience that we create in college. Because what I realized that in college, you create this environment that many people experience or have the ability to experience the abundant life. I know it may not feel like that now for you, but I guarantee you that there will be times, there will be things that for you to not unintentionally or kind of passively pursue Christianity, but intentionally pursue it. Because when I think about three things or three components, when it talks about a healthy Christian life, that's one, growing in the gospel, growing in the context of family, while being on mission. And that there's those three things are centerpieces that can help shape and perpetuate your a Christian life and a love for the Lord. That I would just want to encourage you guys to do, because it's in college that you are surrounded around a group of people that you're going to eat with, you're going to go to bed with, you're going to be in the study hall, you're going to be doing all these things. I mean, because you live with them in dorm rooms, you live with them, you go to class with them, you go to study with them, and your life is shrunk down, and that there's this natural integration or intersection that takes place when you do that. And so there's this natural family environment. And if you can really pursue intentionally the person and work of Christ in the context of community, man, it just elevates and excites you more than you ever could imagine. And so I just really wanted to encourage you guys to, man, while you're in college, while you're in this season of life, don't just haphazardly go through it, and say, man, I'll do that once I'll get serious once I graduate school. No, man, this is the season now that you can create a platform that will propel you to life that will be changed forever. And those three characteristics are people who are growing in the gospel, pursue Jesus, pursue his word. In the context of family, grab other people, find the body of believers that are trying to do that while being on mission. Don't allow the end all be all to be your own personal growth, but allow that to be the very tool or the catalyst that perpetuates you to share the love of Christ with others. Gospel, family, mission. Use this season of life. And I just want to spur you on to, more than anything in this season, blossom where you're planted. Man, I encourage you guys. College is an influential time in your lives, and I pray that God would use it for his glory and use it as a catalyst for you and for those around you. Grace and peace.